San Francisco 49ers pull out a gutty win against the Tampa Bay Bucks, and a lot has been made about that game. But Brock Purdy joined KNBR to talk about three specific plays that I wanted to highlight. The big pass to Christian McCaffrey where he just lobbed it over and CMC somehow finds it. The touchdown to George Kittle in the back of the end zone, and Ricky Pearsall's first NFL touchdown after getting shot in the chest. I always love the kind of inside the helmet perspectives of the players from these plays. So let's take a listen to what Brock Purdy had to say about these three specific plays on KNBR right here.
Well, that leads to our next question. Was obviously the Army feeling pretty good to make that throw to Christian McCaffrey. Brock, what was that? That was crazy, man. Tell us everything about that play. Was there a degree of luck to that, or you had it all the way?
No, I mean, that's what we designed it up for, was that man coverage, have that linebacker go one-on-one with Christian when he bumped out there. And obviously he does like a little double move stutter and then heads up the sideline. And we had like a little protection issue. The guy got through. And for me, I was like, dude, we have the look. We have the matchup. This is exactly what we drew it up for against this coverage. And I just got to get this ball out to Christian and give him a chance. And so obviously there's a guy in my face, but for me, it was all about throwing enough air on it for him to make his move and get under it, and we were able to connect on it.
So. Be honest, when you threw it, what was your then data input after that? Just lying on the ground waiting for noises, or because you didn't get to see it, right?
Yeah, no, I threw it in the air, and I'm like, all right, Christian, hopefully you can get under this, or at least be an incompletion, and live to see another down. But then I heard everyone start going crazy. I was like, oh, my gosh, he caught that.
Yeah, it's just one of those plays that seems like Christian McCaffrey can only make. And Brock actually wanted to dive deeper into the return of CMC. This is a guy that has been a huge part of your offense, and it's someone we've given a lot of comparisons to someone like Steph Curry from the Warriors. When you talk about the gravitational pull and the amount of eyes that he attracts from other defenders, just talk to us about what CMC returning to this offense means for the entire Kyle Shanahan system.
Yeah, it's huge. Obviously, he can do everything, run the ball, run routes from out of the backfield or line up as a receiver. Like, he just does so much. He's a little Swiss Army knife. And so defenses have to, scheme up Christian, and they have to have a plan to stop him. And honestly, that could be a good thing just so it, opens up other guys within our offense, getting Debo the ball, George, JJ, like all our other weapons. And so, there's that component. And then just the things that he can do, man, we can, throw in a little bit more, design plays for him and things that we think can really expose the defense. And so having a guy like him in the backfield, lining up as a receiver, all those things, it just brings another component and level to our offense. So very, very thankful to have him back playing.
Yeah, and I would imagine more to come this Sunday against Seattle. We're talking to Brock Purdy, our 49er Player of the Week on the Yuma guest line. Happy to have him. So I asked you about the McCaffrey throw. The other big signature play was the Kittle. So, Next Gen Stats had you for 8.62 seconds. I wonder, kind of a multi-part question. A, how long is 8.62 seconds to an NFL quarterback? And then B, how did you and George find each other? And that's just playground, Brock and George? You might as well be, we're in like 7th grade middle school lunch, just drawing that up?
Yeah, that's what it felt like. I mean, obviously, I was going through my progression and stuff, and George really wasn't in the progression. He was sort of just running off a guy for Christian to open up as my last guy in my read. And then, the Bucs just did a good job of zoning everything off and having guys in the windows. And so at that point, I was like, all right, I still have enough time, like, in the pocket here, and I'm going to just try to get outside the pocket and see who I can hit or try to run. And then, sure enough, when I broke left, I saw George have leverage on the guy that was covering him. And I was like, all right, for right now, I can at least just get him a ball to the sideline, and it could either be him or nobody, and live to see another down. And sure enough, he came down, toe tapped it. But yeah, 8 seconds for me, man, like without throwing the ball, it seems like a lifetime. And I'm like, this doesn't seem right. I need to get the ball out of my hand. So yeah.
They're like, where's the pass rush? This is the NFL, man. What's going on here? So, by the way, was that based on social media? We get to see people's lives now. And we saw that you guys were all in beautiful Jackson Hole, Wyoming. So are we calling that the Jackson Hole Connection? Is that what it is now?
I guess so. We can call it that from here on out. Yeah. We had a good little bye week down there, so
that's a beautiful place to be, huh?
Gorgeous, man. It was a great little getaway for us to just go and breathe. It was a little colder and stuff, but get away from the season and just recover and be around some nature and mountains, man. It was awesome.
I got to imagine vacationing with George is an adventure.
Oh, dude, he's hilarious. Like all he does is just talk really fast and have all these jokes and stuff. And I love being around him, man. It's a good connection that we got.
Yeah, and it seems like that chemistry between you and George continues to grow each and every week. But the chemistry overall from this entire team, and I want to talk about the newest member to this kind of chemistry mix, and that's Ricky Pearsall. Obviously, Ricky has had a few hiccups in his NFL journey so far, but this weekend you had the opportunity to throw his first NFL touchdown pass. So just talk to us about the journey that Ricky has and the chemistry that you guys are now building between each other.
Man, he's the toughest guy that I know, man. Just from, being drafted first overall, the expectations and the pressures of being a first rounder, my bad, not first overall, but first rounder, to then, coming in, learning our playbook and competing, and then going through a gunshot and, worrying about your life and then getting healthy and getting back. Like, dude, that is so much for a rookie and as a young human. And to then getting back and getting in our offense, and not just getting back, but just making plays, man, and like being a huge part of our offense. And for him to come in and compete and then have him get a touchdown like that and, break a couple tackles and reach for, the end zone, it was so special, man, just seeing him and his journey and his story, and for all of us to be a part of it and just watch him. And dude, he's inspired all of us, and he's got everybody in the locker room loves him and has his back. And so to see him, do that and go out and have that kind of performance, man, was pretty special.
We had a lot of listeners say they got emotional, Brock. I mean, you guys were in the heat of battle, I know, but you ever think about that? That was emotional.
Oh, 100%. Like I said, just coming from getting shot in the chest to, scoring an NFL touchdown a couple months later, like that just doesn't even make sense. And that's Ricky Pearsall, dude. He's a tough dude and competitor, and he wants it and wants to show everybody, what he's made of. And he's a special kid, man. I'm really, really excited to be playing with him.
You guys go back to high school in Arizona. It's really interesting.
What I love about the Christian McCaffrey play is how he talks about, man, this is just a timing thing. This is what it's like having a player in the backfield that you trust and you know what he's going to do and you know where he's going to be at all times. And that's, I think, why we've seen so much success between Brock Purdy and Christian McCaffrey over the years, is because they know what each other are doing here. And don't forget that Brock Purdy was instrumental in helping Christian McCaffrey learn the playbook when he was traded over. So those guys had a crash course together, and they really were able to build a rapport way back then. And you're still seeing it bear its fruits here just years later. I also love the touchdown scramble to Kittle, talking about all the time that he had. I love that they went on the vacation in Wyoming and did all that good stuff. And then just hearing about him, hearing him talk about, Ricky Pearsall and everything that he's been through and had to overcome, and just how tough he is. And it's awesome, man. And Brock is had a really good second half, and he was slinging it. He really turned it on and just went absolutely bonkers, and really helped the 49ers get that win. And it's always great hearing these guys talk, but there's a lot more to the interview. I'm going to link it in the description, and as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.